What's the single most important item in your home that has a value of $1 or less? A matchstick. I had a door that was sagging in my house due to the screw over time wearing a larger hole in the wall. And after some research I found a tip that shoving a matchstick with the tip broken off inside and a dab of glue could make the hole smaller. That matchstick was worth its weight in gold. So about $1. After it helped me fix a huge annoyance. Alternately toothpicks or a wooden golf tee. My door came off its hinges because the screws stripped the holes from decades of use. Very old house, and this is how I fixed it. Wooden golf tees in the hole and toothpicks in the remaining gaps. Sand the broken end down once dry, and you've got a brand new surface to drill. The book that my grandma used to read to me, it's worthless, wasn't even listed on Goodreads until I added it. But she died in 2005, the day after my 8th birthday, and remembering her voice reading it is one of the clearest memories I have. Would definitely save it in a fire. What book is it? C.A.T. Crusoe by Mark Burgess, about a sophisticated cat that is shipwrecked and meets a band of giant pirate mice. A ratty teddy bear passed down from my much older brothers to me is the only item I have that survived my insane childhood. When I was a very small kid, and we were very poor, my parents bought me a small teddy bear. That teddy bear is now more than 20 years old, but is the most precious gift I have. A rock shaped like a heart. My fiance and I took a trip to Poland and Greece. I bought her a heart-shaped rock from a salt mine in Poland. Didn't cost $1, but at a red sand beach in Greece 4 days later, she found a rock that was shaped perfectly like a heart. This one was free. Both rocks now sit next to each other in our house we just bought. Also, one rock is dark and the other red. I so happen to have red hair, and she has dark hair. She found the red heart rock for free, and I bought the salt rock. My collection of old dog tags, literally dogs. I have all my 4-legged dog tags since I was 9. I'm 54 now. I have it in my will to be buried with ease, adding to the list of things I wish I had done. My son found a rock on the way home from school in kindergarten. We were walking home through this park we always cut through, and he grabbed the rock and fell in love with it. It just looked like mud to me, but who cares, he loved it. When we got home I helped him wash it off in the sink, and it was black and kinda bluish. He said it was awesome, and then gave it to me. It's one of my most precious things in the world to me. Oh, that's adorable. My stepdaughter loved gifting me rocks. I've kept quite a few. One of my favorites is a rose quartz she actually found on a hike in the mountains. It looked like a regular rock, but after we cleaned it up, I noticed it looked like quartz. I asked my friend, who collects minerals, and she told us what it was. I thought that was just absolutely amazing. One time, about 5 years into our relationship, my girlfriend, now wife, and I were in separate rooms in our 1-bedroom apartment in early December. From the other room, she hollered to me, "What do you want for Christmas?" I had been working full-time, taking part-time university classes to finish my degree, and had been volunteering as part of a youth mentor program. So I said all I really want is a break. 3 weeks later, I'm unwrapping a very heavy show box. After getting through the mountain of duct tape and several layers of wrapping paper, I had my very own brick. "I really didn't understand what you wanted it for," she said, "but you sounded so sure of it. So here you go." Cue about 10 minutes of laughs. And now that brick sits proudly on my desk. Every time I'm overwhelmed or feeling like I've taken on too much, I look at it, pick it up, have a little laugh, and put it back so I can carry on. Best gift ever. Handwritten letters from my grandmother who passed away a few years ago. While it is sad to see her handwriting get progressively worse for each letter at the end, it is nice to have something that was that close to her. I have them stored in a small box and it always goes into our evacuation bag during fire season. I got this complimentary little webcam cover that slides back and forth over the camera lens on my laptop. It's saved me from making a fool of myself on Zoom many times now. I got this goodie bag for participating in this one event, and it had a webcam cover in it. Now every day I thank this little guy for helping me during online classes, or just for helping me to keep the privacy. I have a $1 bill saved and put away in a drawer The significance behind it was my last dollar. Before I decided to stop gambling and doing hard drugs, I had to stop cold turkey. I was so done being a half human or an empty shell. At first it was just $1 that sat in my center console in my car. I would look at it and be reminded what I was doing. I've been sober for well over a year now. I feel like that $1 is special. I know in Narcotics Anonymous they get something saying how long they've been sober or whatever. That $1 is my token. My token for fighting a silent battle that I cannot share with people, otherwise I could lose my job. When I was 4 or 5, the last time I ever saw my great grandmother, she gave me a dollar bill and said, as long as you keep this dollar you'll never be broke. I spent it the next day on some candy. That may be my biggest regret. I have a church organ in my house that I got for free when a church in another state couldn't find an organist and gave up the organ. I minored in music in college and I'm an organist, so it's probably the most important less than $1 item I own. Wow. Church organs are big things. Where do you put all the pipes? How did you get it into your house? I have so many questions. A single post-it note folded into a paper airplane with the words, "Will you be my boyfriend?" and 2 check boxes labeled yes and yes. Here's my husband now. I have to take pills for tension headaches or I can barely function. I get really dizzy. 1 pill costs $1. So when a tension headache flares up and I'm dizzy and sick feeling, there is no better dollar spent than on that pill. Dad's straw gardening hat. It's torn and worn, but he died 2 years ago and it reminds me of him when I wear it. Nail file with a bit that gets the grit out of your nails. I have a heart-shaped rock that is about the size of a quarter. My son gave it to me when he was 3 and told me to keep it forever. I have it in my back pocket daily. The Donovan. It's a $1 bill with a picture of ex-UF basketball coach Billy Donovan taped over the president. It was a single dollar a friend and I would pass back and forth, that we would bet on different things. It's a trophy we have passed back and forth over the last 20 years. It's an item that has kept us in touch. My dog Ziggy. I found him in a box outside of a liquor store. He was 6-week pit bull covered on mange. I took him home, bathed him twice a day every day 4 weeks to get the mange to go away. 4 years later has the best boy with a full beautiful coat. A tiny paper crane a Japanese grandmother gave me when I was in Osaka at a museum. She worked there and was waiting for tourists to come play an educational board game with her. She got no interest. Obviously, I reluctantly sat down and played after she caught me on my own with a smile and a beckoning wave. Even though we couldn't speak each other's language and I kept messing up, she was so kind to me, so happy that I sat with her. She made me deal with my impatience and sit with the distress I was feeling that day by slowing me down and making me do something plain and simple. When we were done, she gave me a tiny paper crane from the pile she had made to give to all the tourists that should have sat with her and didn't. It made me really sad and really happy I'd met her, and I hope she's doing well. This is why I'd also sit with the old people that ran the themed stations at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. I was there once a week for a while and sometimes it hit every single station, so the 80-plus-year-old person there would have someone to talk to. I'm already looking forward to being an old docent at a museum and talking to people like you. I'm in my mid-40s and have always loved talking to older people. I had a friend that was in WWII, US Army, and he had the best stories and a ton of Nazi stuff that he took from soldiers he killed. Dude was a straight up badass airborne ranger that was part of the Alsace death camp liberation. Met the guy while working in the mall. Just a lonely man walking around talking to young people. I got this one for free, so I'm just gonna say this one, a piece of clay. The clay specifically has my dead cat's paw print in it, so it'd say I can answer this with the clay. One specific screw. It has emotional significance. During our first official date with my GF, I got a flat tire because of that random screw. I had never changed a tire before in my life, and I was afraid I'd make a fool of myself in front of her. But it all worked out well, and she was super impressed. Next day, when I took my car to the shop to patch the hole, I asked them to return me the screw, just for the happy memory. My glasses were free with my insurance, so they're definitely the most important thing in my house. It would probably either be my own life or those cheap charging cables that you can buy in convenience stores. My antidepressants. Free prescriptions, baby. A brown plastic realistic cockroach nicknamed Freddy. We got it over 20 years ago. I don't remember where or why. Maybe a Halloween party? Anyway, my wife and I have been hiding it for each other ever since. It could take months for Freddy to pop up, but he always does. She will find it buried in the sugar pot. I will later find it inside a pair of shoes I rarely wear. It often makes us jump and give us wall fright. I'll hear my wife let a surprised gasp then go, "Oh Freddy." For me, Freddy is a great symbol that our relationship is still solid after all these years. That we still take the time to have fun, to surprise each other. A pair of extra long tongs that allow me to turn bacon from a distance so the grease doesn't splatter on me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching this video. Leave your thoughts in the comments below.